Hey everybody, Vicky here, the Words Lady, and welcome to day 3 of your Big Break Visibility Party. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about being here. And I hope you guys are too. Hey Angie, hey Phil. Are you guys dancing with me? I wish I could see you guys. Oh boy, I am so excited about this whole entire series. And I tell you what, I have not been this excited about doing a party for a while. I've been calling them challenges, and I really think I'm going to be changing it to party all the time. Yay, Phil, swing in your chair. Jewelry is in the building. All right, we are getting going. Oh my gosh, some of my favorite people are already here. You guys jumped in right away. I'm so excited. I have gotten such great feedback over the last couple days. This is day 3 where we're going to be talking about creating a plan to become more visible and more known, like bigger, 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 bigger. Okay, so type in I'm here. I know some of you have already said so. Say hello, send me emoji. I love emojis. So let me know that you're here, and of course heart it up, because hearts always, make me feel good. I love being here and doing these things with you. Being live, I don't know, it's a really, really, really close tie, maybe. For speaking on stage, and I call speaking on stage kind of like crack for me. So we are today going to be talking about your world domination takeover plan, media blitz, to be more visible and more known. We're going to go into how to choose where to spend your time, how to make running your business, that everyday stuff you have to do. Try to make it more enjoyable, and investigating some of that nasty self-talk that we would never say to anyone else except ourselves in our heads, right, boy? We are lucky that we do that to ourselves. Not so much. Hey, Angela. So, like I said, type I'm here. Let me know who's in the house and partying with us. Or if you're a replay watcher, type in replay and I'm here. And don't forget, at the end, we'll chat a little bit more about how you can get into my $1 billion brand event that's being held here in Michigan, live October 16 through 18, where you can get your tickets in one of 2 ways, by getting one of my programs for $100 off, or just plain getting the general admission ticket at $197. I'm going to type that in. I didn't do it properly yesterday to pin the comment, but I just did that. Yay. So it'll be at the top so we can refer back to it later. All right. So today we're going to be talking about your plan to be more visible and how to make it easy so you actually do it. Easy, simple, however you want to call it. So you actually do it, right? What benefits you can expect from different media platforms, including your book, which I'm lumping in there, and investigating your self-talk to make sure you don't fall into that pattern of giving up. Oh, I have a typo there. Oh well. And how to replace it with one of positivity. And remember, this is a no fluff zone, right? So type in no fluff if you like no fluff and you've liked what we've done so far this week. Like I said, it's day 3. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. I got to double check my phone and get that into the right place, because I'm telling you what, Facebook just doesn't always send me everything, and I want to make sure that I see everybody and what's going on. So I think one of the most painful things in life is to feel invisible. Being misunderstood is another one of those things that's kind of unpleasant. And we talked the other day about getting clarity about what you wanted, what your message is, and how you want people to feel about you and your brand when they see your face. The clarity helps you to be understood properly and helps you to propel your visibility. So let's get talking about this plan, right? So Here's the thing. Oh my gosh. For a just brief second, I thought I was on the wrong day, but I'm not, right? It is day 3 because it's Thursday, right? It is day 3. For a split second, I'm like, wait, am I doing the same day over again? No, we are not. Okay. Your plan to be more visible and how to make it easy so you actually do it. And like I said, I kind of say easy, simple, a bit interchangeably. I also believe that you can decide whether something seems easy or overwhelming, and you can break things up into manageable pieces so that it's more simple to tackle, right? When I was a tween, I was a disaster in my bedroom. I never, ever wanted to clean it. There are always clothes all over the floor. I mean, really, if I put it away, I just have to get it back out. Or I kind of am that way. Don't tell, but I'm kind of that way about my office. I like to see things spread out rather than put away in files and drawers. So it becomes this whole spread out thing. And that's what I used to do at home too. I never, ever wanted to clean it. And you couldn't barely see the clothes or the floor through the clothes. And yes, I'm a clothes hoard, so that didn't help. And when my mom would require me to clean it, like, if somebody was coming over, it seemed like such a huge, daunting task. It was like this, oh my gosh, it's gonna take me days. I just didn't want to think about it or deal with it. I just wanted to flop on the floor and lay there. I kind of feel this way about housekeeping right now because I lost my help because she got a job at the bank. Anyways, cleaning my room seems so hard and overwhelming. But what I realize about this and so many other things in life, in any project, that big projects or problems or struggles can be fixed, accomplished, completed by doing a little bit at a time, but consistently, right? I love that saying that, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Hope I'm not offending anybody with that. The little visual is not that fantastic, but it just is so true. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And this is what you need to do with your visibility plan too, because I'm sure there are so many things bouncing through your head going, I need to do this and this and this and this and this. Just do one thing at a time, right? Decide where you want to be visible and what ways you're going to increase your visibility. And we'll talk about what to expect from different platforms in a minute. Next, you want to decide how you will treat your own deadline calendar. We are self-managed here, aren't we, as entrepreneurs? We don't have a boss with a calendar or, that whole like, oh, you're going to get in trouble kind of thing. But you kind of will get in trouble because things won't get done and then your business isn't going to flourish if you don't follow your own deadline calendar. So let me ask you, will you let your goals slide? Are you going to allow procrastination to set in because of fear or other excuses? Or will you hold yourself to the fire, toss doubts aside, and just press the go button when you need to? How will you react when you don't feel like doing something? Because there are so many things in life we just don't feel like doing, Can you be strict with yourself on that? So type in go button if you're not going to let anything get in your way, that you're going to treat your deadline calendar like it is set. You're going to hit those goals. All right. Now, not to sidetrack or anything like that, you do have to have a little bit of, wiggle room sometimes. And sometimes if things don't happen, don't get so irritated with yourself. But really, you need to treat that deadline calendar pretty seriously, right? Type in go button, go button. It may be great to pair up with an accountability partner if that's something that helps you, or a mastermind partner to keep you on track or be your voice of reason. I have a friend who sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I'm like, this came up for me and that came up. She's like, just do it. Just do it. Like every time I talk to her, I just laugh because I know what she's going to say. And it's gotten so that now I hear her voice in my head before I even have to say it. That actually gets me to do those things. So, somebody who's not going to let you get away with your sexy excuses. And if you want to look for one, you can post in my group, Write Your Biz Book. That's my Facebook group, not this page, but over in my group, Write Your Biz Book. You can actually pop in there if you want, ask somebody if they want to be your accountability partner. Try to pick somebody who's gone through this big break visibility party so they know what you're talking about, right? And you'll need to set those goals, tangible and intangible ones. How many new leads do you want per week, per month? How many discovery calls are you going to take? I put together a 90-day intention promotional calendar and a vision for 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, and beyond. Now, knowing that every 90 days, I sometimes will modify things, or maybe even 60 days into a 90-day plan, I will create a new 90-day plan for the next 90 days, and that is perfectly okay. All right. Then, there's those intangible things. What new things will you learn? What books are you going to read? Besides my book, Hit Publish and Standing in the Gap, which books are you going to read, right? Hit Publish and Standing in the Gap. Wink, wink. So, actually, there is going to be a cool bonus about Standing in the Gap a little bit later. I haven't set that all up yet, but stay tuned. I think I'm going to be doing something with that tomorrow. So break down everything, reverse engineer things so that you have manageable pieces, right? And include breaks to recoup too. You can't just go, 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 go like the Energizer Bunny. Energizer Bunny doesn't need to eat or sleep, but we kind of do, right? So you want to make everything be manageable, all right? So type in, and gosh, you know what? I am so glad I have my phone here because I don't see all of them on Facebook, but I see some of them on my phone. Yay, no fluff, action focus, go, go, go button, go button, go button. Yes, hey, David, thanks for joining us today. So next, type in manageable, because we are going to make your content and your calendar and your promotional stuff all manageable so that you don't get overwhelmed when you look at it. We're going to chunk it down into small pieces. All right. So let's talk about the benefits that you can expect from different media platforms, including your book. All the platforms are going to give you third-party social proof of your authority, credibility, and expertise, right? Each one can have a slightly different purpose though, and it's really good to have a mix of different things. So we're going to talk about blogs and online magazines, podcasts, TV, and then books, okay? So first things first, let's talk about blogs and online magazines. And this really depends on the blog as to what you'll get out of it. It's great to have HuffPost behind your name, Entrepreneur, or Forbes, but not all of them are going to grow your following. Like I said, all of these will grow your credibility and authority. They're great for putting on your website, for your opt-in pages, for your about page, for your speaker one sheets, for your media one sheets. These are all great credibility markers for you. But not all of them are going to grow your following every time you write for them, okay? Now, I know somebody who writes pretty consistently for Entrepreneur. She doesn't grow her list through it, but she gets speaking gigs because she's been an Entrepreneur speaker, conference coordinators, whatever. Look up stuff, find that she has written a bunch of articles about that, and ask her to be on stage, okay? All right, Kathy, hey, Kathy, I see you're here too. Manageable, 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 Rebecca, yes. So if you're looking to grow your list, you want to find magazines and blogs that allow you to have an author bio, or what we might call a skirt tail, directly under your post. So think about it, right? Just think about your own experiences looking at reading magazines and blog posts, right? The title might be great, the content might be awesome, and when you think about it, do you ever really go up to the top where it says contributor, click into it, and read the bio? Maybe every once in a while, right? But for the most part, you're probably not doing that. You actually have to click into it and look at stuff, right? Or if it's at the bottom of the post, but there's an ad or a photo in between the article and the bio, most people won't even get to it. And you may not even have noticed this, but you can go out and just, type in any kind of media that you would like to be on and check out their site, check out the bloggers. A lot of times they'll have the article, and sometimes in between you'll see the little ads that are kind of disruptive, right? And then you get to the bottom of the article, there's another ad, and then below it is going to be your author bio or skirt tail. And that piece, sadly, people don't get to it if there's that gap in there. And I've heard that referred to as the profitability gap, which I actually kind of like. I might have to borrow that, but that is words of somebody else, so I guess I shouldn't steal it. But it's true. If there's something in between there, there's a gap in your potential to get more followers, because your author bio is going to have some freebie link for people to join your list, right? We talked about that yesterday, how important your list is, how important it is to be growing your list all the time, that your list is the only thing that you really own. You don't own social media followers. You can't go back and if Facebook comes down or Instagram comes down or whatever, go back and try to figure out who all those people are. The only way is to get those emails and capture them on your list. So in your bio, you really want to have a juicy freebie that relates to whatever it is that you've been talking about, right? So the best ones that will help you grow your following, if that is your purpose in media, is to have that skirt tail, your author bio, right directly under your article, so it ends and it flows right into who you are, and they can click here to get your freebie, because then they'll keep reading to the end. Otherwise, if there's an ad or another picture or something, they'll think it's ended. They don't have to go any further to find out more about you, right? Then they'll get that freebie you're offering, get on your list, right? And that grows your list, probably will grow your social media, will grow everything, right? So type in "got it" if you understand what I'm saying about the different media and how to look at which ones are going to give you that benefit. Like I said, they're all going to give you credibility, right? So next, let's talk about podcasts. These are great, especially for sharing your story, right? And your main teaching points. Podcasts are usually one of two things. They're usually sharing stories, or they're sharing how-tos. Some of them do both. And in fact, my podcast that I just created called Word Powers Activate. Yeah, like the Wonder Twins, because I like superheroes. I actually am doing stories and doing teachable moments, right? The more podcasts you do, I would say the more comfortable you're going to get speaking, especially repeating your story, not forgetting part of your stories, and also being really good at those main teaching points that you come up with. I was at Detroit Startup Week. When was this? It was a few weeks ago now, and one of the speakers did not show up for their event. And here we are, we're in a room. It's a small room. It wasn't a huge crowd or anything like that, because they had all these different breakout sessions. But the speaker did not show up. So the volunteer in the back said, "I'm really sorry. The speaker is unavailable, could not come today, so we aren't having this session." And I just said, "Hey, if you'd like, since we're already here, I'm happy to share my session with you." So what I did was I started out with my story just like I did on day one of this party. And then I went into teaching points that I was very comfortable with. I could share about story, I could share about, writing books, I can share about publishing, all these different things. You get really, really, really good at talking about these things and talking about it off the cuff, answering questions, knowing what questions you're going to get answered all the time when you get on podcasts. And this is going to make it so much easier when you talk to people, when you're talking about the courses and products that you have. You will know exactly the same questions that are going to come up over and over again. So you can just address those before they even come up. It's great, great, great practice. And at the end of the podcast, generally speaking, you'll be asked, where can people find you? And this is where you give a specific special link for your freebie. Now, it can be the same freebie that you give out all the time. Like I have my freebie, How to Get the Book Out of Your Head and Onto Paper. But at the top of it, when I did my Active Campaign podcast, I have an Active Campaign little logo on the top, and it says specially for Active Campaign podcast listeners. So they feel like they're getting something that's specifically tailor-made for them, right? So this is how you grow your list off of the podcast. And you just do more and more and more. What's really cool about the podcasts are not only are they fun, they're actually more fun because you get to interact with somebody, but it's not as time consuming in some ways as it is to write media blogs and posts and come up with more stuff and repurpose and give something a different angle and, you know, all that stuff that you're doing with media. I just find it so much more fun and easy to schedule a podcast, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, because sometimes they're an hour. It's just so much easier to just get those done, right? And then you can start growing your list by leaps and bounds with podcasts, okay? All right, I see that people are all saying, got it, got it, got it. Hi, Robert. Good to see you here. So the next thing we want to talk about is TV. This is also great for credibility, but in general, and I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to this, but in general, they don't necessarily grow your following or your list. There's not usually an opportunity to give a freebie or things like that. The easiest shows to get on are morning shows. There are ones that are pay to play. I wouldn't quite recommend those, but they're the morning shows, and those are generally targeted to stay-at-home moms or retirees because everybody else is usually working, right? So their audience is something like that. You might have like a weekend Saturday morning show and stuff, but these are awesome, awesome, awesome for credibility. It helps you to, I don't know, feel more confident to raise your rates and go for those bigger speaking gigs and stuff like that. All right. So that's it for TV. And then lastly, let's talk about books, because that is where my heart is at. Talking about books. You can write your book for different reasons if you want to use it for your business. All right. We're not talking about books that aren't for your business, books for your business, right? So one, it can be an expensive business card about any topic that you could talk about off the top of your head, even poetry or memoirs, whatever you wrote, just so that you could say you did it, it contributes to your business, and you get to check it off your bucket list. It's a credibility marker no matter what you write about, but it's likely not going to convert to clients if you didn't write it in a way that's supposed to convert it to clients. So it's just an expensive business card that you hand out here and there, or maybe you can do a book signing when you do speaking gigs and stuff like that, but it doesn't do much for your bottom line. You could sell it for royalty payments if you want, but why bother working so hard for 35 cents or even $5 when you could get the same for a $1,000 or $10,000 client, right? You're going to work the same amount for a $5 sale or a $5,000 sale. So you might as well just go for the gusto, right? So, and I'm sure you can tell where I'm leaning towards which way you should write your book, right? Or you can write a book that's going to turn readers into clients. Oh, ching. This is what I help my clients with. They share their why story. They seed it with marketing elements. They create a relationship and connection within their book, align it with the message and products in their business, and then upsell the reader into a higher paying client, right? Into one of their signature products or packages, right? This is the way that I think business books should be done. So tell me which kind of book you want. Do you want one that turns readers into clients, or do you want one that's just an expensive business card that you checked off your list, right? Books are a big credibility marker, right? They are. So type that in. Which kind of book would you rather have? Expensive business card? Turn readers into clients? Tell me, which way do you want to be? Okay? So Books can be a great profit generator, not in royalties like I was talking, but in the upsells of that core product, especially if you want to be a speaker, which so many of my audience and clients want to be speakers. Writing a book is almost a must. My speaker coach friend, she's an international speaking coach, she helps like NFL players and politicians and stuff like that. She has a bunch of conference coordinators I wouldn't say in her back pocket. It's not quite like that because that sounds kind of shady. She has a bunch of conference coordinators that she consults with, and she has 2 books that I have helped her with, and even they said, you know what, you need to revise those books, get another book out, do a version number 2 or something like that, because books are so important and they help you stand out even more in this whole industry that you're in, right? So let me know as well, comment and let me know which platform you like the most. It doesn't have to be the one you're going to start with. I just am curious, which platform appeals to you the most? Yeah, readers into clients, Phil with his dollar signs. Tiki, hi. David says readers to clients too. Angela and James, 1 book for each discipline. All right. Let's move on. Now that you have the logistics of your visibility plan, because you're going to pick these things and choose, which ones are most important to you. I suspect some of you might have a thing or 2 in the way of this plan. Maybe you really like these ideas. Maybe you even think you can do them given the right help, but maybe there's chatter going on in here, huh? Do you have that chatter? So let's investigate your self-talk to make sure you don't fall into a pattern of giving up. And let's see how we can replace it with one of positivity. So firstly, I want to ask you, can you see your plan? And yes, I like to call it your world domination plan. Can you see this as a possibility? Do you believe that you could have it? Is it something that is doable? So comment yes if you like this possibility. And I'm going to read what's going on here. Phil says podcast, blogs, and books. Yes. And Robert says speaking. Ooh. Speaking. Yeah, speakers should be on the other platforms. It helps you to get more credibility, be a standout on your speaker one sheet for your conference coordinators. And it's great if you can link them to podcast, TV, media that you've done, because then they can see what you've already been able to accomplish, right? So is this something that you think is doable? Do you think it's a possibility? So say yes if you like this possibility. Yes, indeed, Phil says. All right. So now tell me, what might your self-talk be saying? I'll tell you what mine has said to me before, and then you can let me know if any of these resonate with you. You can just like give me a high five or, heart me up or something like that. Give me some hearts in the video here. So this is what my self-talk has said to me in the past. Who do you think you are? Why would anybody want to listen to you? Who are you to blank? You're crazy. That's a good one, right? You're just crazy. You can't do that. You're crazy. You're not worthy, which goes along with you don't deserve it, right? It won't work for you. Even if it worked for other people, it's not going to work for you because you're nobody. Why do you think it would work for you? You're not famous enough. You don't have enough experience. That's always a great one, right? You don't have enough experience. Why would you think you're an expert at anything? Or maybe the whole, you need to do more first. You need more certifications. You need more education. You need to read more books. You need to have more proof. You need to blah, 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 right? Any of those sound familiar to you? Just send me a heart or a thumbs up. What other things might you be saying to yourself? And the problem is that the sound of our voices, even if we don't say them out loud and we're saying them silently in our heads, are the most believed voices that we hear. Right? Sometimes we're repeating stuff that other people said to us, whether it was a friend who wasn't supportive, a parent who said nasty things to you. Sometimes we repeat those things over and over in our heads as well. And I don't know, why do we punish ourselves that way? It would be much cooler if we were always saying kind things, right? We would never say these things to someone else. But somehow we feel like it's okay to be mean inside our heads, right? Why? Why do we do that? That needs to end today. Ends today. Now, here's the thing. If you want to slide through life avoiding the pain of disappointment, you'll stay in that comfort zone, not taking risks like we've talked about the last couple days. And where does that get you, right? We talked about that, stagnant and regretful. And I know you don't want to turn into that bitter old coot, right? So what has that negative self-talk kept you from so far? If you can share, I would appreciate it. Share with us. What has that negative self-talk kept you from so far? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be so specific about, like today, what we're talking about. What has your negative self-talk kept you from? Has it kept you from living fully? Has it kept you from really finding the love of your life? Has it kept you from really opening up? Has it kept you from sending a pitch somewhere? Has it kept you from investing in yourself? Has it kept you from whatever? What has that negative self-talk kept you from so far? Phil says, ends today. Angela says, yes, hearts, thank you. What has that negative self-talk kept you from? Has it been helping you? I'm kind of thinking probably not. This protection, right? This protection that you're shielding yourself from, you know, that shield, it's actually doing more harm than good. It's keeping you from the good life, that life that you visualize in your head but can't seem to get to. You know, those days when we're going, oh my gosh, I really want such and such, but it seems so impossible. Sometimes it's the negative chatter that's going on. So when those things come to mind, because they're gonna come to mind, there's really no way to say, I'm never gonna have a negative thought ever in my life again. I'm gonna beat myself up if I ever think anything negative. Like, don't do that. Because these negative thoughts, they do come in, right? The thing is, what are you going to do with it? How long are you going to sit there? Are you going to truly believe it, or are you going to toss it out, right? You get better at that as time goes on. No matter what level of success you are, and no matter how old you get, these things are going to creep in. So don't beat yourself up, right? Just catch yourself and say, that's not true. It's your voice. You'll believe it and turn it around instead. So say things like, I am worthy of all good things. I can have it all. I'm allowed to be successful. I'm allowed to be abundant. I'm allowed to be wealthy. You can also say, if you can't quite go through it and say, I am, you can say, I'm working on blank. I'm working on being more positive. I'm working on getting my nerve up to speak on stage. I'm working on finding the courage to send media pitches out there. I'm working on being vulnerable in my story. Those are things that you can believe, right? The world is blessed with my presence. What I say and what I share matters. I can create change in the world. I am big enough already today, right now. And learn to predict success, not failure. I'm not talking about being like oblivious or head in the clouds, slap silly. I'm talking about feeling success, visualizing it happening like we did on Monday, visualizing that room of people, all those people that you've helped, being in that energy so it can return to you. You know, having a knowing that things will turn out in your favor, really regardless of how it turns out, right? You have to cast those doubtful thoughts and feelings aside. Remember the story in Think and Grow Rich about stopping 3 feet from gold, right? That kind of stinks. What's your reaction when the going gets tough? Do you turn and run, or do you keep plugging at it, knowing that the outcome is going to be worth it? What if you didn't have a choice but to keep plugging on? What if there was no choice? Phil says, ends today, big exposure. Yes. So when I was 17, a senior in high school, the second half of senior year, I jumped out the second story of my window at my parents' home. I had had a huge brawl with my mother. It was nighttime. My dad was off at a business trip, and things always got bad when he was not around because I didn't have a buffer and she didn't have somebody that was watching. And it was a huge brawl, like literally wrangling on the kitchen floor, pulling hair. I had a bruise on my arm that was the shape of her hand. So I decided that that day, no more. I was done. So I jumped out the second story window. Hint is, don't use bungee cords because they're stretchy. I thought I was going to do kind of like the James Bond thing, you know, and ding, ding, ding down the side of the brick wall. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I tied up sheets, and you know, you can't believe everything in the movies, I guess. And for some reason I had bungee cords in my room. Like to this day, I don't know why I had bungee cords, but you know, they're super stretchy. And when I left and jumped out the window, it kind of went boing like that. And I hit the ground a little bit sooner than I thought, but I was okay. No harm, didn't get hurt or anything, but it was a little bit more of a surprise. But at that time, I had no choice but to decide to survive and ask for help from my friends and my friends' parents. I had to learn things that I had never done before. I went and purchased a car. I wasn't even 18 yet, but anyways, I went and purchased a car. I got car insurance for myself. I learned how to change my own flat tire. I learned how to budget my money. I don't even remember grocery shopping. Like I think back on this, I'm like, did I even go grocery shopping? I don't remember doing this. But anyways, turning around and going back inside that house was not an option. And I wasn't going to turn back. And I wasn't going to try to, I don't know, make it work there. It wasn't an option at all. So for me, the choice was, how do I move forward from here? Because I'm not going back. So what if you operated your business like that? That certain things were not an option. Like giving up, not an option. Avoiding risk, not an option. Being comfortable all the time, not an option. Not doing things that you don't want to do because you just don't feel like it, not an option. Procrastinating, not an option. Belittling yourself with negative self-talk, not an option. Being super critical of you, the things you put out, what you say, how you look, how you present, whatever it is, not an option. Being perfectionistic, not an option. What if you started treating things like they weren't an option for you anymore? Yeah? Comment below with what you're not going to have as an option. We should do it the opposite way around. Comment the things that you are going to start doing today so that we can kick to the curb some of those other things, those self-talk negative things. So tell me what it is. What are you going to start doing today that you somehow haven't allowed yourself to do before? Tell me what that is in the comments. What are you going to do today? Yeah? Phil says, no emergency exit options as I build this business. So Phil, tell me, what would be an emergency exit option for you? Now I hear about the rest of you too, about what is the thing that you're going to start doing, that you're going to give up this, you know, not an option. So what's the opposite of that? I want to see the positive things that we're going to start doing, right? We're going to meet the deadlines. We're going to set intentions that actually are intentions that we want. We're not gonna stop 3 feet from gold, right? We know that a lot of times when you launch something, have something new that's going on, that most of the sales come in right at the deadline. It's just human nature. We, as the business owners, would love if everybody were to pre-plan a little bit better than that, because it's kind of, it's a nail biter when you're like, okay, I need to get X number of people into this program or to this live event or blah, blah, blah. And they're not opting in until the day before the deadline, right? So Rebecca says, move forward with submitting articles, start marketing my online program. Yay, good. Tiki says, finish my book layout, work out more. Phil says, isolating. Oh, okay, so that's your emergency, being small. I gotcha. So I will show up, I will expose my experience and skills, says Phil. Angela says, be consistently visible and actually sharing the content I create. Oh, Angela, are you one of those people who creates awesome content and leaves it on their computer? Did you know that there is a large percentage of people who write books and leave them on their computer and never publish them? Never, ever, ever publish them. Oh my gosh. I have a client who actually had 2 books sitting on her computer when she came to me. I'm like, all right, let's get them out there. We looked at them and, we put seeding and marketing, we did our thing to them. And then, it was actually pretty quick because they were already done, but sitting on her computer. But guess how long? 5 years. Don't do that. Robert says, resist the urge to be perfectionistic and get more stuff done. Yay! David says, finish book in the next 90 days. David, if you want to finish your book in the next 90 days, Easy Writer is where you need to be. It's all set up to be done, launched to bestseller in 3 months. Phil says, I will accept the flow of owning my own business. Woohoo! Yes, I love these. I love these. I love these. So now I want to ask you, if you want more content like this, and I would love to see you in person because I would love to give everybody a hug, would you deny yourself now? Would you say it's not an option to come to the $1 Billion Brand event? There are people watching that are already coming. I know who you are and I know who you aren't. But really, the $1 Billion Brand event, I can only go into so much detail here, but we are going to get into so much more detail in the $1 Billion Brand event. I'm going to show you how to lay out a press release, get seen on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. I'm going to show you where you can find opportunities to get features in great online media and magazines. We might even send a picture to. Yeah, because that's what we need to know how to do. We're going to learn to increase your authority with your book, regardless of what stage you're at in writing your book, whether it's completely done and sitting on your computer, whether it's published, whether it's halfway done, whether it's still stuck in your head and you haven't quite figured it out. We are going to talk about increasing your authority and leveraging that book, because it all has to get done regardless of what stage, right? It's time to tell the world that you've arrived and you mean business. You want to inspire the world with your story, grow your following, be interesting to media, get those speaking gigs, and increase your income, right? So you got to come to the $1 Billion Brand event. I put the information, it should be pinned in the top post. And this is when I want to tell you, you can get either a general admission half price ticket right now because it's early bird, and you can go to bit.ly/BDB event 2018. So it's $1 Billion Brand event 2018. DB event 2018. It's in the pin post, or you can get a free ticket by joining the 60-day Biz Boot Camp program, which gives you all these elements to have before you write your book so you can profit it and turn readers into clients, right? It's also going to give you a way to create that freebie. So if you don't have a freebie yet for all these media things, your author bio, and to grow your list is going to help you with that as well. You'll get $100 off with the code YourBigBreak. And you can go to bit.ly 60-day Biz Boot Camp to sign up, and you'll get a free ticket, general admission ticket, to your Big Break Visibility Party, okay? If you want VIP to have lunch with me and my guest speaking coach that I had told you about earlier, then you can do that for just $100 extra. And we will have lunch together and mastermind and talk about all your questions and stuff. So I want to see each and every one of you there. I want you to tell yourself that this is an option, that you can get this done, that you will get on that plane and you will come here so that I can see you, I can hug you, and I can help you in person to get more of this stuff done, okay? All right, so if you have any questions on that, let me know. Let's see what else. Phil says, thank you. You are so, so, so welcome. All right, so tomorrow we are going to be talking about the movers and shakers mindset, money and wealth consciousness. This is one of my all-time favoriteest topics in the world because money is such a dang issue for so many people, including me. I love day 4. Okay, so don't miss day 4. I know what happens. Day 1, we have the most people, and then more people trail off, trail off, trail off. Be one of the diehards and be here tomorrow, day 4, the movers and shakers mindset. Plus, I'm going to be telling you a little bit something about how you can get my book, Standing in the Gap, for free. So make sure you join us tomorrow and let me know if you have any questions. If you are a replay watcher, make sure you pop in all your questions, your hearts, your emojis, and all that stuff. If you have anything that you want me to answer, just like I said, put them in the comments and I'll check back. All right, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bad place, same bad time. We'll start with my jamming music, 1 o'clock tomorrow. All right. See you later. Bye.